Banks tell you that you have X amount of days to pay your mortgage. Give them some sort of response. See, I'm not lying. I'm here with the Harnett County Sheriff Department. When they tell you that you have to get, whatever, get out, whatever, you got to believe them, because they're not playing, y'all. They are not playing. It's super sad. It's really sad. So I can help people out of these situations. You just can't stick your head in the sand.
From the real estate company, they're here.
For whatever reason, I'm going to stop it right there real quick. You stick your head in the sand and you think this is going to go away. It never goes away. It never goes away. And if you're looking at this and you're facing it, or you may know somebody that's facing it, tell them to call them immediately. Immediately give them a call and find out what they can do for you as a workout plan. Sometimes forbearance, even if it's for 3 months, may give you the chance to find the bread. And that's the thing. There is no time when it comes to foreclosure, when you get hit with that. In Georgia, foreclosure can be activated by the time you're 30 days behind. Now, they give you up to 60 days to do it. I've never seen anybody pop anything other than 90 days. So you legit can say, I have 90 days to make up this money, to get this bread. This is the thing that a lot of people don't know. And the fear, the shame, the guilt, it ties you up, and you don't think that there's any hope, but there is hope in these situations.
With us, they change the locks, and all we do is enforce the paper. So we make sure that all the residents are out, and then the locks get changed. And then from there, the property will be secured in the house, and you'll have 7.
Okay, so just left the site. But y'all, please, and I'm not fear-mongering or anything like that. I don't care if you don't work with me. Work with somebody to get yourself out of foreclosure.
Come crash out with me as I freak out because my home is in foreclosure and I need $25,000 in order to save it. I'm not lying, guys. I am so stressed out right now. I'm freaking out. I got $9,000 in savings. I have about $12,000 that I should be getting in a couple of days. Oh, she got an ass on her. I'm short. I am still short. I need help.
Come on, yo. Come on, sis. What the heck, man? You doing this recording? You drop. Oh, shoot. 29 behind. You're getting 12. What you got 9 already in there. There's 19. So we're talking about 21. So you're legit down about 8, right? You're down about 8. She's down about 8. Honestly, she's probably in a great situation because at least she's getting $21K to put down. Based on her forbearance, she may be able to put that $21K down most of the time and then pay the rest. So what she needs to do is go get a forbearance, get some type of workout program with them so she can catch up.
I need help. I need help. I need help. I need help. 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 All right. So, yeah, I'm stressing out a lot.
I was stressed out.
Oh my God, not you guys making me cry. Nose is all red. I just shared that I am on the brink of foreclosure, and it's been weighing heavy on my heart for a minute, y'all. But I'm like, you gotta be honest with yourself, and maybe it'll help somebody. I don't know. It's very embarrassing. And there's a shame around doing so well and then failing. Things happened that were beyond me. So here we are. I think I'm crying mostly because everyone's been so helpful and nice, and the comments are very beautiful. Y'all know I'm a whole crybaby, so I'm gonna go. But thank you so much for the beautiful comments and all the love, and we're gonna do this.
Long story short, the short sale was unsuccessful, and now we're...
Okay, so let's freeze this real quick. Short sales, they basically, and I've heard people say stuff about this a lot. I'm gonna give you the real just, because I've worked short sales before. I've done short sales where I was the agent trying to get the bank to take the deal. Matter of fact, it's funny. I met the owner of a company that I worked for when I was in college, skycapping. Yeah, at the airport in Atlanta. And he asked me, man, this dude fired me when I got my real estate license in order to help him sell his house because it was facing foreclosure. And we ended up doing a short sale on the property. These short sales turn around and help you just ease out of the foreclosure situation. Does it ruin your credit? Yeah. 2-3 years, you can buy another house. Honestly, you can. I would rather do the short sale than turn around and just let them take it. Take it, at least with the foreclosure on there. They got 7 years that they're going to put on you. They can say, oh, we can't sell you another house in 7 years. Can you get another house? There's so many ways you can buy property now, especially if you're cash heavy, if you're someone that makes money. You can buy at least purchase. You can do at least own. You can do all these different things, but it's still nothing compares to actually having your own spot until you actually close. And I get it, but the short sale will at least help you to get back into the game faster. Okay, so short sales. Another thing you got to watch out for is these subject to deals. When somebody comes to you and they say, hey, we're going to do a subject to, and your state may allow you to do it. Some people's states don't allow them to do it. Basically, a subject to just means we turn around and we take the house subject to the existing mortgage. All that means is that mortgage stays in place. The person buying it doesn't have to go and obtain a mortgage. And I'm talking about these points because these are all the little things that start to come up when people creep into that foreclosure space and they're trying to figure out what do they do next, you know? And the subject to couldn't be a great way to rebuild your credit, but you lose control of the house because you're giving away your title and you're keeping the loan in place on the property. When that loan stays in place on the property, bada bing, listen, bro, that loan is in place. They're going to make that monthly payment. You can't do anything with it. And if you expect them to give it back to you, which I've seen some of these con artists actually tell people, I'm going to give them back your property. Once you catch up, you just got to pay me this fee. Freaking lie. Lie, lie, lie. Don't believe the lie because it's a lie, okay? Some people may do that, but I would say out of 10, who's going to give you a house full of equity back? That's a lie, okay? I don't see that happening. Nobody does this of a goodwill. So keep that in mind and don't let these jokers scam you out of this shit.
An auction. And now I'm going to rebuild. I mean, people keep saying my life's going to be over, but it hasn't been over. Like, it's gotten better since we've moved out. And I think it's going to be better once this place is no longer in my ownership. I do think I'm going to go to the courthouse when it sells for the auction. Honestly, I don't even think it'll sell in the auction. I think it'll just become bank owned, but we'll see. I do plan on going to the courthouse. I do plan on making a video about that as well. But those 8 months were hell. This year has been hell. These last 3 years have been hell. This was the biggest mistake I ever made. It costed me a lot of money. I'm feeling kind of down, so I'm gonna wrap up this video now, but I'm gonna talk more about this foreclosure. I'm gonna talk about more what actually happened. This is more of a, hi, this is who I am and what I'm going through video. I want to make a lot more about this. I think that this is an important thing to talk about. So please leave me comments with any questions you have or topics you would like me to make spin-offs on.
August 1st, serving papers to previous owners to move out by end of month. Today, August 30th.
Hi, Mary. So this is just a formality, but our attorney asked me to deliver these 3 different copies. One's for you, one's for column, and one's for just occupants. Okay. It's the same thing. It just says, move out by like August 30th.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right. Thank you.
I'm sorry to spring that on you, but all right. I hope you have a good Friday.
You too.
She's cleaning right now. That was not super fun, and I hope she didn't notice the camera. So today is August 30th. I served those papers on July 31st / August 1st, so they had a full month's notice. One, they used to be the previous owners of the house, but we bought this house on foreclosure back in early July, I want to say.
So I threw this in here so you understand this. When your house is actually purchased in the foreclosure process, also, let's say you get foreclosed on, your house gets sold on the courthouse steps, or it's sold to whomever, auction, however they do it. Most states, there's the profit between what the bank makes, and man, I tell you, investors are going to scream at me for telling you this too. A lot of them are, and they're going to be mad. Anybody that sees this, that money between what you owe on the bank, owe on the mortgage, and whatever it sells for in auction, you know that's entitled. You're entitled to that. That's the proceeds. That's the difference. Because the bank only wants what they're owed, which is your loan balance. But let's say your house, and I've seen people, this happens, and it's a sad situation where it's they're in, you got about 100,000 of equity in the property. And it sells for exactly what's owed. I mean, it sells for more than what's owed on it. Whether it's 50,000 more, 75,000 more, because they still get a deal. Not like that little bit, you're entitled to it. And they don't tell you you are entitled to that piece, man. You are. Okay? I don't know what your county situation looks like, but in Georgia, you can literally go find out if you have money that's owed to you from if you had a foreclosure. There's guys that go out here and actually find that, bring it to the people and say, listen, this is how much you owe. And I'm going to tell you, if you turn around and you let me work with you, then we get it back. You pay me 10% of that. And they can get hold of it for you. So keep that in mind.
And we closed in July. We still gave them 30 days to move out. Clearly you saw me serving the papers that our attorney told us to serve them. Comment below, what do you think they did? Do you want an update? Because I'm...
Nah, we good. We good, girl.
If you're facing foreclosure, there's three things. One, don't modify. Two, don't be indecisive, don't procrastinate. And lastly, this isn't a don't, it's a do. Make a decision quickly. The number one thing in terms of modifying is, only thing a modification will do is add debt, which will over the long term increase your payment. So there's no way getting around that. If you owe more.
Sometimes the modification, people need that in order to freeze it. Sometimes,
money, you're always going to have a bigger payment, whether it's today, tomorrow, or a month from now, or something like that. Lastly, in terms of procrastinating, you want to make a decision quickly. Figure out what your financial situation is, figure out what you can afford, and then move toward doing that.
Yeah, figure out what you can afford. Now, this is the thing. The modification can be very beneficial to you. You just have to look at your situation because it's different for everybody.
Foreclosure rates continue to rise up to 20% in September from last year. Industry experts say that while the numbers aren't historically alarming, they may signal broader trouble. CBS's Christian Benavides takes us to Florida.
Is she wearing a halter top? Like, is she wearing a cutoff top? Her belly button as a newscaster? What's up, man? What's up with y'all newscasters? What's going on?
Which has the highest foreclosure rates in the country.
This houses one of realtor Emily Odak's half-dozen foreclosure listings in South Florida, and more are in the pipeline.
We have properties that are behind the scenes that are about to become foreclosures, that are pre-foreclosures, that we are currently watching or may be in default.
Adam, a provider of nationwide property data, reported more than 35,000 foreclosure filings around the country in September.
When people aren't paying their mortgage per se,
40,000 homes were taken in the month of January.
That indicates something broader in the market for us.
Foreclosure rates are up 20% compared to a year ago, and nowhere more so than Florida. Nevada also made the top three. Both states were popular relocation areas during the pandemic.
What we don't know is if the folks that maybe were moving there for remote work during the COVID era are starting to see distress or not. But typically, it's older homes just going through traditional foreclosure processes.
The high cost of home insurance and rising HOA fees for condos are driving up prices for Florida homeowners, increasing the risk of foreclosures here.
Especially because of the Surfside tragedy. The city comes in, they check out the whole building for the past 30 years, what needed to be fixed, what needs to be fixed, and then they go and allocate special assessments to the homeowners.
So the give you an idea too, condos and townhomes are always the first ones to go. When we hit these foreclosure spaces and time frames, you always look at condos and townhomes. They're always the first. That's why I keep saying don't buy a townhome or condo unless you are just got the money. You just got the bread. Listen, it's got to be a second, or it's got to be a primary, and you're a married couple. You got double income, which we got a lot of those in Midtown Atlanta. Dual income, no children. So keep that in mind whenever you buy a foreclosure. If you're going to buy a home, even if you buy a foreclosure after it's been foreclosed on. Because in Atlanta, we had this place 12 down at Atlantic Station. Tons of new construction. 07 hit, man, what you were paying $300,000 for, you can get it for $100,000. Honestly, okay? But they were the first ones to get hit, and they got hit the hardest. And what's even worse, if you go into a condominium association, and they're riddled with foreclosures, there is a reserve that condominium association has to keep in the HOA. Their money needs to stay up. That tends to fall when it hits foreclosure. I mean, you have the bank that will pay in some cases, but in some cases they let it sit. Assessments, you got to keep in mind whenever you buy. If you're a buyer and you're going to be buying, or you plan on buying, whether it's for investment, rehab, it doesn't matter. Keep that in mind. And then if you're still watching this, in my main description, I give access to off-market property deals that we have in Atlanta, in Georgia, period. So go ahead and subscribe to the list. It goes out on Fridays, and you'll at least be able to know what's coming on the market. A lot of these off-market deals, you're not going to find them in an MLS. No agents are peddling them. Mostly they're investors or wholesalers that locked it down, and then they're trying to sell it.
Be a $1,500 extra a month.
Despite drawing some comparisons to the 2008 housing crash fueled by high-risk mortgages, real estate experts don't expect a repeat. ODEX says it is still the right time to buy for somebody. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Coral
It's
Springs.
always the right time to buy for somebody. Just because some people are going through it doesn't mean everybody's going through it. That's a fact. But when I looked at this, man, okay, so foreclosure activity in 2026 is rising, the highest concentration of bank-owned properties. REOs are called bank-owned properties, man. Real estate-owned properties. Texas, California, and Florida, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. I knew Florida. I knew Texas. California partially. I did not know Pennsylvania, Illinois was experiencing that. As of 2026, national trends show a continued increase in foreclosure stats, driven by homeowners struggling with higher economic costs. And part of that high economic cost, you'll see the stats right here. Top states, REOs, January. Man, I told you January they took 40,000 away, man. Texas, 5,073. California, 415. Florida, 377. Pennsylvania, 311. Illinois, 267. Highest foreclosure rate early 2026 is Florida, Nevada, South Carolina, Illinois, and Delaware. Market context, despite the rise, 2025 to 2026 levels, pre-pandemic levels, slightly above it. And I think it's going to continuously go. And the reason why is we don't have something in place to actually hold it, to stop this flood from hitting the market. Now, what that also means, there's a reverse side to this. Buyers are going to turn around and they're going to have more deals. These banks are actually going to be competing with the institutional buyers who bought pre-COVID era. Back 2017, 2016, they've been buying up stuff for the last, prior to 2020, they started buying, because I was working with institutional investors. I started working with them around 2017. So I know they've been buying at least since 2016, because I was behind the 8 ball when it came to working with them. And I worked with them for a little bit, and just their buy box is a little bit, can be a little bit crazy. But I think they see what's coming down the line with Trump and banning a lot of these institutional buyers from buying. and probably having them get rid of some of their portfolio, but they're starting to get rid of some of their portfolio, and now they have to compete with a declining market. And that is one reason why I believe buyers will also be able to get some great deals, because asset management companies who put these properties on the market, they're done by asset management companies. They still have to be able to compete with what's there, or it's going to sit. Okay? It's going to sit.
Today's housing market update reveals a big problem and a surprising twist. Foreclosures are surging, the economy is weakening, and affordability is at record lows, but home prices are still going up. So this makes absolutely no sense on the surface until you look at the numbers, which I'm going to walk you through. So the situation is that homeowners are in distress. New foreclosures have jumped up by 20% year over year. Foreclosures have now been rising for 8 straight months. Now, before anyone panics, I want to explain what this really means. So yes, foreclosures are rising. However, that does not automatically mean that a crash is coming. But it does mean that stress is building. Okay, so with that being said, a few good questions are, should we be concerned? And how has this been affecting home prices? First, let's take a look at home prices. The median sale price of a home in the US now stands at $440,387.
So as of the day I'm doing this video, this is what, January 1st, we're in March. Median home price in Atlanta, $385,000. We were up at that 440, 445 mark last quarter, November, right? That means between November and now, we went from 445 around there, 435 to 385,000. Bro, yes, it's getting cheaper. I believe the market is really getting cheaper. It is getting cheaper. But the crazy part about it, even when it gets cheaper, not everybody can still buy. We had 5 houses under contract that fell through. 5 contracts. 5 houses. 5 contracts on one house that fell through. 5. I couldn't tell you. I was looking. I said, "Oh my God, we got to do this thing again." But yeah, that's truly what's taking place. So the stress in this situation now is going to create more deals for buyers to find. So I realized why it fell through, because it was stressing. A lot of people were just, they just, houses were hitting the market lower than what we had, and they were competing to go lower all the time. And guess what? The more you compete to go lower, somebody's going to buy. Somebody went under contract with us and they saw something else down the street that was probably a little bit better or a little bit cheaper, if not better. I think it was pretty cheaper, because this was a good looking house. Cheaper. And they jumped ship to it. Yeah, 5 different times, because you had a flood of houses that hit the market. So now sellers are going to be competing against a lot of this when it hits the market. And I don't think they're ready.
Actually up by 1.4% compared to 12 months ago. Okay, so although foreclosures are going up, it's not been enough to move the needle, and I want to show you why. So here's a chart of the quantity of foreclosures for the past 20 years, and this is quarter by quarter. If you look back at the mid-2000s, you can literally see the curve bending upward years before the crash, right? I mean, you could see the momentum building. Foreclosures were accelerating with a steep slope. But today, I mean, take a look for yourself. The slope is not even close. So this is where we're at right now. This is where we stand. And you could see that even though the headlines are scary, foreclosures for October jumped by 20%. Yes, it's a 20% increase, but it's from a relatively smaller amounts.
Yep. So as that amount begins to grow, that's when you see it peak. One thing we didn't do in that first foreclosure run, I don't believe information was spread as fast as it is now. So when you post something on YouTube or TikTok, people jump on, oh yeah, okay, let me see what's going on. And they're always locked into the market to see what's next. The reason this time is a lot more dangerous, think about it. You're talking to me, you're watching me on YouTube right now, right? Boom. YouTube wasn't even big, or really wasn't growing until like 2010, 2011. So you missed that foreclosure run. I know I missed it when a lot of my boys were buying houses that were people, and I say they were my boys, meaning I met them after the fact. They owned it. I didn't know them during that time. Of course, if I knew them, we probably would have had more conversation. And that's it. Information now flows a lot more freely. So to me, that's one reason why a lot of this stuff for the buyer probably won't kick them out the market. If anything, it'll get buyers more deals. But the sucky part about it for the sellers, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. When we know it through the data, through the information, through all of that, and you can't stop it, there's no incentive to the bank to actually do anything to really help you. I mean, they don't really want to keep the property, but they do want to get paid for it. So it's a lot of changes, man, that are taking place. But just keep in mind, as this market shifts and it does what it does, you can't put yourself in a position where you delay or you drag your feet with it. You gotta execute, call them, get that deal worked out, because there's more buyers in this market. And that's the difference between 2008 and now.